If that lemon sorbet looks perfect to you, and it should, it's because it is, and that's what we're doing today, both in a Ninja Creamy and in a churn machine. So let's get on and make it. What are we gonna need for this perfect lemon sorbet? You are gonna need 44 grams of erythritol, 436 grams of sugar, 75 grams of lemon juice, 20 grams of lemon zest, 1,100 grams of water, 71 grams of glucose, 5.5 grams of xanthan gum, and 2 grams of citric acid. The balance of ingredients for sorbet are really important, but not as important as the method of making it. We're using erythritol to balance our freezing point so we don't add too many solids. We're using citric acid to boost the acidity, which is super important in sorbets to create that pop of flavor that we need. We're using glucose syrup, but you absolutely can use light corn syrup in this. It's basically the same thing. Glucose syrup is available in most European supermarkets. In North America, just go for light corn syrup. We're using xanthan gum because we don't want to overheat this. We want to keep this down low. So the first thing we need to do is deal with our lemons.
We're simply going to take our microplane and get as much of that lemon zest off as possible, avoiding that white pith underneath. It's really bitter and we don't want that in our sorbet.
20 grams of lemon zest equates to the zest of 2 large lemons. You don't have to be super accurate with that measurement. As long as you're taking the zest from 2 large lemons, that's fine. So there is our zest. Now we're going to weigh out our lemon juice. I'm going to cut these in half. I have rolled these really well on the counter, softened the flesh up, and that just breaks apart the fibers within the lemon so that it releases that juice, so that now when we cut it and squeeze it, we get more liquid out. So let's do that and get our 75 grams of lemon juice prepared. So now the 2 large lemons gave us about 80 grams of lemon juice, so that's perfect. This is a 1,750 gram batch. 750 grams we're going to use for our Ninja Creamy Deluxe, and the rest we're going to use for our churn machine. What we're going to do is we're going to take some of our sugar and just put it in a small container like that. And we're going to pop our lemon zest into there and just combine that gently.
So what we're actually doing here is partially creating an Oleo Saccharum, which is Latin for oil sugar, and it's essentially a concentrated syrup made by extracting the oils from citrus peel, but we're not going to let it go that far for this ice cream.
We're going to leave that for about 30 minutes to do its thing. You can skip this phase if you want to. I just like to show people how to do things slightly different ways sometimes, but if you don't want to do this, absolutely don't need to. Now let's get our water in our pan, which is 1,100 grams or milliliters, it's the same thing. And into that we are going to put in our erythritol, which is mixed with our citric acid and our xanthan gum. We're just going to tiny whisk those together. And we're doing that just to break up any xanthan gum lumps and make sure everything's fully incorporated. Now we can combine that with our water. I'm going to get a whisk and stir that together. We're going to heat this up, but not too high because we're using xanthan, which is a cold process stabilizer anyway. Next, we're going to put in the rest of our sugar. Now we're going to pop this on heat and bring this up to a syrup phase, so about 50 Celsius, which is this in Fahrenheit. And what that will do is completely dissolve our sugars, allow that xanthan gum to actually start doing its job. And then we can start adding the final parts of our recipe together. So let's get that on heat now. So what is an Oleo Saccharum? That is essentially just oil and sugar. It's a syrup, usually used for lemons, but can be used for any fruit that has the oil in the skin. So citrus fruit mainly. Generally it's made by osmosis, so the oil's being pulled out naturally without any inclusion of heat or anything. And that's just a case of doing what we did earlier, combine them and leave it to sit for at least half an hour. You can do this overnight, you can do this a week ahead if you want, and you will be left with a sugar syrup as the oils combine with that sugar, dissolve the sugar solids and create a syrup. We probably won't get to the syrup phase here because we're not leaving it for enough time. But as we're heating this up, you absolutely don't need to do this. You can just put the lemon zest in with the base here and heat it up, and then let it sit once it's up to temperature for about half an hour. It will do the same kind of thing. Two different ways of getting to the same result. Right, we're up to our syrup phase. So we've created this semi-viscous, semi-transparent liquid. That's a really important step for sorbets. We need to create that semi-viscous base. It's simply the best way to create it. Something with ice cream science is it's more about how you get there rather than what you use to get there. So the method is often much more important than the ingredients you use. As long as you balance the sugar content for crystallization, recrystallization, ice crystal formation, and freezing point and serving temperature, the rest is kind of, not irrelevant, but less relevant. So now that we've got our syrup phase done, we can add in our glucose syrup. We'll stir that in. The heat is enough to dissolve that straight in. In goes our lemon juice. It's important to note you cannot use guar for this recipe. Guar does not work in acidic bases. It simply will not do its job. Xanthan will work in acidic bases, so that's something, if you use stabilizers, that's super important to remember. If you're using a combination stabilizer that uses locust bean gum, guar, carrageenan, something like that, it's less important because the other two will do the job ultimately, but guar won't be effective in this recipe. Finally, we can add in our Oleo Saccharum. I mean, it's barely an Oleo Saccharum, to be fair, because you really should leave this for about 24 hours. You can leave it in the fridge. That's absolutely fine. I had this conversation with someone in the comments a few weeks ago why I don't do this. It's just not important in this phase because we're heating our bases up. We're removing the oils from the zest during that phase anyway. So it's not an important phase, but it's a good lesson to learn because you can use this for all baking recipes as well. It's a really good way to extract oils from the zest of citrus fruit so that you can use them in basically anything. So now that's all combined, we can simply stir that together. You'll find it becomes really, really quite thick, just like an ice cream base would. Now you've got two options here. Strain this to remove all of that lemon zest out of there if you want. Personally, I like to see this in my sorbets. It creates a nice kind of visual effect for me. It's totally up to you. Won't have any effect on the recipe apart from by leaving it in, we allow more time for more of that oil to be extracted. So with that said and done, get our containers. We've got our Ninja Creamy tub here. Beautiful. In that goes. The viscosity should just be enough so that the lemon zest stays within the body and doesn't sink to the bottom. But if you really want it distributed, again, with the Ninja Creamy, the blades are going to go down and come back up. It's going to distribute it itself naturally. But otherwise, just give it a quick shake or a stir partway through freezing. So let's pop that in the freezer and let's put the rest into another container. And as we haven't superheated this can go straight in the refrigerator without any problems. Again, we're going to probably leave this overnight to let those flavors build. And we will come back tomorrow when we compare the two versions of this amazing, possibly the best lemon sorbet you're ever going to eat. Lemon goes well with lots of things, but my personal favorite is that torched meringue. So I've got some high protein Swiss meringue in the refrigerator from another bake. So I'm going to torch that on the top. But I'll show you how I torch that later on. But for now, let's leave those to settle down and I'll see you tomorrow. If you want to win one of these heated ice cream scoops, then make sure to watch this video in its entirety. How many times have I said the word torch? So make sure you count those up. Make sure you like this video, you're subscribed to the channel, and in the comments put how many times I say that word torch. It's probably not as obvious as you might think. In 7 days, I will take all the correct answers, put them into a randomizer and pull out a winner. This competition is worldwide, so don't forget to enter to win a super cool heated ice cream scoop.
So with that said and done, I've pre-chilled the churn machine down for about 5 minutes as I normally do, and got some of that mix in there spinning away, and we're going to do our Ninja Creamy Deluxe on the sorbet setting. Obviously the sorbet setting is considerably faster spin rate than the normal ice cream and gelato setting, and if you weren't aware, the ice cream and gelato settings are identical in every single way, so don't really worry too much. Now with both of those prepped, I mean the spin one is nearly there, we're going to pop them back into the freezer to fully harden off so that it's a level playing field. I don't want one to be naturally softer than the other one because I want to get that heated ice cream scoop out and see how that does as well. Now loading up this, I mean I can instantly tell the texture of this one is perfect, and you know, I'm really looking forward to trying this.
Our two sorbets, lemon sorbets, perfect scooping. The small one here is our Ninja Creamy. Let's dig into that one. Texture is amazing. It's so good. I'm always disappointed when I buy sorbets from stores, scoop shops, whatever, because it just doesn't cut the mustard. The texture is like really icy with not a lot of flavour. And those are the two main things you need for a sorbet. You need that texture to be absolutely spot on. You need that flavour to be spot on. Without both of those, perfect. A sorbet will always let you down. And Ninja Creamies do sorbets better than anything else. Let's try the churned one. Ever so slightly lighter. It has the strange effect of being less cold. And that's because there's a little bit of air incorporated in during the churning phase, which is how it's meant to be. But you know, to be fair, the Ninja Creamy does an excellent job with sorbets. It just creates an ever so slight difference in texture. I love seeing those flecks of lemon zest in there as well. And to me, it creates a better aesthetic to see exactly what it is. It's creating that flavor. There's no artificial flavorings in here. Pure, unadulterated lemon sorbet. Perfect lemon sorbet. Let's get some higher protein meringue on top. Let's torch this. What do we have there? Lemon meringue sorbet. Shit, that's good. Honestly, I think I've taken that lemon sorbet, which is the best lemon sorbet I have ever eaten, and just elevated it right up to 11. If you know the reference, comment below. Perfect lemon sorbet in the Ninja Creamy and a churn machine. Ever so slight different result. Nobody really is going to be able to tell apart from those that are deeply into their ice cream and making. Give this one a try, super easy to do. The stabilizer isn't optional in this. That xanthan gum or whatever stabilizer it is you use really is the key to creating the best sorbet you're ever going to have. So you can buy xanthan gum super cheap on Amazon pretty much across the world. You don't need a huge amount. You could buy a 100 gram pouch and it would last you probably an entire year of ice cream making. Don't forget to enter the giveaway for the heated ice cream scoop. This did an excellent job. I just want to try one more thing. Dense chocolate ice cream. This has been in the freezer for about 5 weeks. So it's hard, and it's a high solids chocolate ice cream as well. So it's really hard. This little scoop, charge it up USB-C, and you just hold both sides. There's 2 little pressure pads on each side, and that heats the scoop up. You can feel it heating up as well. So let's see how it deals with this. Look at that. Not exaggerating, that little scoop has done a perfect job, even on high solids, ultra hard ice cream straight out of the freezer that hasn't been adjusted at all. That is how that scoop works. If you want to enter, then make sure to like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and comment below how many times I have said torch. In a week's time, I will gather all the correct entries, put them into a randomizer, and pick out the winner. This competition is open worldwide, so make sure to enter. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next week.